Taking into consideration that BeQuiet usually produces cases, AIOs, air coolers, and fans, this is an outstanding keyboard because, well, they have it. This is light mount, and you also have dark mount, but for now we have only light mount here for review. And we're going to deep dive into this one because, well, when I go deep and check out everything that we have right here inside this package right here, well, this keyboard, you'll be actually fascinated because this is definitely a quiet keyboard and definitely goes with the name and with their fans and with their AAOs, keeping the silence at the bare minimum as it possibly can. So what we have right here is two type of switches. We have black and orange, logical, and tactile linear. Linear are 45 grams of actuation force, and the black ones, the tactile, are 55 grams of actuation force. Now, when we take into consideration that this keyboard is layered so nicely that there is no echoing, the sound is so dampened down that you'll actually enjoy. I mean, okay, some of you guys do prefer to have that clicky sound, and that's all up to your personal preference. I won't go into that. But for others that want a mechanical keyboard that still is quite quiet, or being quiet, this is it. Now, this is a full-size keyboard, so this is basically just, you know, you want a full-size keyboard, you have the volume wheel, you have the mute button quite handy and quite close, basically, and you have these 5 additional buttons, and that's it, full-size keyboard. Now, when you check out the FN button, you don't see here anything additionally when we're talking about multifunctional keys, right? So you do have all from F1 to F12, you do have numpad, arrows, and this segment right here, which usually is known for TKL. And basically, when you go into their software, which I do have to say is quite amazing, and they gave you an option. You want the software directly installed on your PC? That's all up to you. You want a software that is Chromium based and it's on your browser? Again, it's all up to you. So you can choose two variations, and this is actually what I like because not everybody wants to turn on their browser to adjust the keyboard, let's be honest, but that's a good thing because you don't have any additional software or bloatware, like I mentioned last time, installed on your PC. So the PC is more cleaner, let's put it that way. But in general, if you want, you can choose out of those two and synchronize everything towards your keyboard, and that's it. Basically, FN button plus arrows and this segment right here can adjust the RGB lights, modes, and everything all together, but you can also do that in the software. Per key gives you loads of options. Now, the software is really amazing, I do have to admit. Now, from the first try, I didn't expect it to be that easy. So you connect your keyboard because, well, you have to, it's not a wireless keyboard, but when you connect it and when you have the software opened, it immediately recognizes if the keyboard needs a firmware update. That's up to 2 minutes straight. Actually, it took me like 15 seconds or something like that. But regardless of that, now when we go further, when you go and enter the software, you have the option to adjust the lights. You can do custom stuff. You can do you can choose their presets. You can go per key RGB illumination, which is outstanding, and you can adjust the brightness, which is also really good because it gives you option to, well, basically, if you're in the dark and you don't want this light bar on top to really be that bright, you can adjust it. But honestly, it's really nicely designed keyboard. Now, furthermore, you can check out the keys. So as I said, FN button and everything that it does. You can record macros, combination keyboard, keyboard, mouse, or whatever you want to go with. And finally, what you have is profile settings, a software update, firmware update, and everything all together. So it's really actually straightforward and really simple. Just you can choose whatever you want to go with. Now, let's go to the keyboard. This is outstanding stuff because we have PBT double shot keycaps, which are quite nicely matte finish, which is logical for PBT. Then we have the top brushed aluminum plate and the bottom part is plastic. Now, don't be concerned about the plastic. It's well built. It's above a kilo. I think it's 11 1,100 grams or something like that, a bit above 1,100 grams, which is okay. You have one layer of foam between the switches and the PCB. Then we have another which is under the PCB, and third fills the bottom part of the housing. So no echoing, and this dampens down the keyboard precisely and quite nicely. Now, I mentioned the switches. We have the orange and the black ones. These are BeQuiet silent switches, which are manufactured by Cherry MX. And this is a cool thing because what we have here is silent linear orange switches, which are pre-lubricated to reduce friction and noise. That's good. The keyboard is hot swappable with other 5-pin MX style switches. These switches are 3 pins, so just to give you that. You have 3D media wheel, which has a nice texture around it and quite nice feel, I do have to admit. And you have the mute button in the middle. Now, one addition to this keyboard and what you get inside the box is the USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable, which is used to connect the keyboard in general. You have this wrist rest, which is very nicely designed. Of course, the bottom part is plastic, but it magnetically connects to the keyboard. So you don't have any additional hinges that need to be interlocked with the keyboard, which is just a mess, to be honest. And I did dislike that for past keyboards that actually got this. I think there was some Logitech keyboards that had that. Then we have this top part, nice and comfortable, but that's not all, because the feel on top is very enjoyable, so that's really good. And the second thing is keycap and switch remover, what you get inside the box, and apart from the keyboard, that is it. When we're talking about the back side of the keyboard and of course the wrist rest, you have 6 rubber feet for the wrist rest and you have 6 rubber feet for the keyboard. And that's not all, because you can raise the keyboard up to 3 different levels, degrees, let's put it this way. So the original one, which is based, and then you have one smaller leg, and finally the bigger one. I don't know the exact degrees, it could be like 4, 8, 11 or something similar to that, but in general that's quite nice. I do have to add something. We have 3 indication lights, so caps lock, num lock and screw lock, which are vertically placed. And we have a nice and subtle gloss compared to the brushed aluminum BeQuiet logo on the far right side. As per usual for the brushed aluminum, it does leave a bit of a fingerprints, but you can easily clean that up with a nice microfiber cloth, and that's it. Now for some specs, what we have is a full N key rollover with USB, of course. Then we have PBT double shot keycaps, genuine cherry plated, mounted and lubed stabilizers, which are outstanding, and I'll get to that part later on. You have on-the-fly system with FN key. Then we have pulling rate 1000 Hz. Connection is 2.0 USB. Onboard memory MCU is Cortex M0, and it has backup with the software, which is BeQuiet IO Center software. Now we have light mount silent linear switches. The dimensions of the keyboard are 212, 461, 44. And without the palm rester is 132, 461, 44. The weight is 119 kilos, and the weight without the palm rest is 0.96 kilos. And then we go with the typing. Now the typing experience on this keyboard is truly amazing, and you have to listen to this. I don't think I have to explain too much, right? Because even with the microphone quite close and the same distance as last time, uh, it's a quite quiet keyboard. Now, the one thing that I have to mention about the stabilizers, they're pre-lubed if I didn't already, but regarding the bigger keys, there is no wobbliness whatsoever. So if you press the space bar, and I mentioned that last time, uh, specifically talking about the FPS and all the shooter games in general, when you're using space a bit more excessively than usual, like in some normal adventures, uh, it presses evenly, and you can even see that from a close-up where I'm moving the stabilizer and it's evenly moving on both sides. That all goes for the bigger keys, and the keys that are basically designed for letters. The smaller keys have a slight wobble, which is basically if somebody doesn't invent additional 4 pins that go aside from the MX stem, then they're all going to move. So yeah, that's that. To conclude everything, BeQuiet released two keyboards, light mount and dark mount. Dark mount, I won't say too much because I didn't have it here yet. But for the light mount, what you get here is a keyboard for around 160 euros. You get aluminum top chassis, triple layer dampening foam, which dampens down the keyboard entirely. And as I said, it's all up to personal preferences. Do you want a dead silent keyboard, or you want to have that still clicky sound, which in that case, this keyboard won't be directly for you. But in general, BeQuiet releasing a keyboard is actually a good thing, because now you can pair up literally everything. You have your PC that is quiet, you have your keyboard that is quiet. Now they just need to, I don't know what else to do. But in general, love the design, love the RGB. It's not too much in those terms because the keys, oh, I totally forgot. You have RGB lines here on the side. So if you're gaming in the dark, you have this RGB light on top, this strip, and the side strips as well, which do look quite nice when they glow on the side. The one thing, and I don't think I noticed that in the IO software, would be great if, I think you could do that, because you have to go to the custom profile and circle around all the keys, give them a dedicated RGB color, and just don't include the top bar that would light up. And that's the only way you could switch it off. It would be cool if there's just a dedicated switch, just pressing it, and you don't have to tweak around the software. Just press switch off the RGB lines and you're done with it. But in general, it could be switched off, so you don't have to worry about that if that's annoying and you still want to have a BeQuiet keyboard, which is quite logical. And I'll tell you why, because it's a great keyboard and I'm really digging it. And that's it. That's all. I'm quite satisfied. PC Crazy approved badge, just because a brand released a peripheral that usually is focused on other products, and they succeeded. They delivered a quite high quality product. Let's be honest. It isn't wireless. Okay, I do personally prefer wireless keyboards and mice, but in general, for people that think wireless isn't good and they don't want lag or anything similar to that, there you go. So that's it. The links for the BeQuiet light mount, and I'll try to find all iterations, because you have UK, US, DE, and all the other combination. ISO, ANSI, and it's just orange, black switches. You have loads of options, and I'll try to give you at least as much as possible. So that's it. Guys, if you have a comment about the keyboard and you want to add something, or you have a question about it, don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section. And finally, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and hopefully I will see you in another one quite shortly. Thanks. Bye bye.